So we just landed in Canada, and I just want to tell you guys a few things that I've seen thus far in Canada, or experiences around Canada. First and foremost, I did not know that this is an international flight.
Has anyone else seen that video of the couple that went to Canada for the first time and the wife just found out that Canada wasn't part of the United States? And she only found out because when they got to the airport, she realized it was an international flight. It's not fine. You should know that. You should know that. What are they teaching?
Okay, because of the original video that was posted with the girl saying that she didn't know Canada was a different country, there's a lot of controversy. A lot of people saying that the U.S. education system is broken and we don't teach the kids anything, especially about geography and so on. So I teach 6th grade social studies, and I just wanted to show that when it gets to the 5th, 6 weeks, which is around March, our first unit is actually North America, specifically Canada and the USA. So when we start this unit, we actually don't really focus much on the USA because they cover the USA the whole of 5th grade. The whole of 5th grade is US history. So when we start this, we just do a little bit of the USA and then everything else is Canada. So we do teach them. We actually do, at least in my district we do. For instance, look, Canada map activity. So here I teach them about the Canadian provinces and territories, right? So I teach them about them. We study them, songs, atlases, everything, and then they're supposed to label them on a blank map after a point in time, right? And then Canada, its people, history, and government. We see everything. Canada. The fact that their national animal is the beaver. The fact that they speak French in Quebec. The fact that they have a different type of democracy. The fact that they have a prime minister instead of a president. See, Canada is land, resources, and economy. We stay on Canada for about 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So if a child does not know about Canada, especially coming from my class or my district, is just because they did not pay attention. But I don't know how, sorry, ignore my daughter's excitement over what she's doing. But anyway, if a child leaves my class without knowing about Canada, it's because they were not paying attention. But I don't know how you wouldn't know about Canada when we've been on it for almost 2 weeks. So yes, we do teach them. And just going back to what we do teach them, Latin America, and then if you look at the 4-6 weeks, Southeast and Southeast Asia, Australia, Oceania, Antarctica, the 3rd 6 weeks, modern Europe and Russia. So we really do teach them a lot about different parts of the world, especially in my district. I don't know about other districts though.
Address the 51st state discourse, which I find unsettling and frankly insulting. Canada is a strong, independent nation that's deep-rooted in decency, really. And it's a place that values high ethics and respect, unlike the polarized, disrespectful, and often now hate-fueled climate that's in the U.S. And look, Canada values a lot of fairness and unity. It's a place that I've learned as the national team coach where people really believe that their differences make them stronger. And honestly, it's one of the things that I've enjoyed the most about our team is that they exemplify this as human beings and as a team. And look, they're almost all 1st and 2nd generation Canadians coming from different heritage and cultures, but they uniquely are incredibly proud to be Canadian, to represent their country, to give everything to each other, and the love that they have for each other and playing for their country. And to me, this sounds very familiar to years past, right? So for me right now, I couldn't be prouder to be the Canadian national team coach, and I found a place where that embodies for me the ideals and morals of what not just football and a team is, but what life is. And that's integrity, respect, and the belief that good people can do great things together. And so if I have one message to our president, it's lay off the ridiculous rhetoric about Canada being the 51st state. As an American, I'm ashamed, right, of the arrogance and disregard that we've shown one of our historically oldest, strongest, and most loyal allies.
The old relationship we had with the United States, based on deepening integration of our economies and tight security and military cooperations, is over. Yesterday, in the latest salvo in his trade war, President Trump again imposed unjustified tariffs on our nation in violation of our existing trade agreements. And our response to these latest tariffs is to fight, is to protect, and to build. We will fight the U.S. tariffs with retaliatory trade actions of our own that will have maximum impact in the United States and minimum impacts here in Canada. Last night, the President of the United States reached out to schedule a call. I appreciate this opportunity to discuss how we can protect our workers and build our economies. I will make clear to the President that those interests are best served by cooperation and mutual respect, including of our sovereignty. It's my solemn promise that when President Trump threatens us again, we will fight back. We will fight back with everything we have to get the best deal for Canada. We will build an independent future for our country stronger than ever.
Canadians are a little perplexed as to why our closest friends and neighbors are choosing to target us instead of so many other challenging parts of the world. I don't think there's a lot of Americans who wake up in the morning saying, "Oh, damn Canada. Oh, we should really go after Canada." We're there as friends, as partners. We always have been, we always will be. Sure, we're going through a difficult time right now, and yeah, emotions may run high here and there, particularly around hockey games. But I know we're going to make it through this because we have the most successful partnership the world has ever seen, and it's a true value in this time of really challenging geopolitical instability.
I have to admit it, Donald Trump has accomplished something he set out to do. He promised to make a country great again, and he's done it. But unfortunately, it's not America, it's Canada. What he's done in his first month and a half in office has made Canada more unified together than it ever has been before. Across the country, they've all come together. They're waving the flags. They've boycotted American vacations and goods, and they're buying only Canadian items. They are completely unified against what Donald Trump has been doing to them in a way that, quite frankly, they probably wouldn't have even known possible before Trump took office. So Donald Trump can make a country great again. He can make a couple countries great again. But unfortunately, one of them isn't the United States, as we're absolutely crumbling by his own design. So Donald Trump, he's made Canada great again. And he's also working hard to help Vladimir Putin make Russia great again. So Donald Trump, you failed here, but you're making some places across the world great again. And that's what it is.
So Country Grocer, which is a chain of retail and food stores in Nanaimo, BC, and further than that too, have made a decision to take all USA products out of their stores. Fist pump, Canadian, respect. No more USA products in Nanaimo, BC.
Did y'all see that video from the couple that went to Canada and the girlfriend said that she didn't know Canada was an international flight from America?
First and foremost, I did not know that this was an international flight. Why is miles per hour here in kilometers? I think they speak French, because there's a lot of French things translated in French or something like that. I don't even know. The accent's a little different.
Then proceeded to say she didn't know Canada was a different country and that they speak French over there and that they have the metric system. And when called out on it, they doubled down and were like, why should I know what the metric system is? Why should I know Canada was a different country? I thought Canada was a North American territory. What?
In regards to the whole Canada thing, I genuinely was like, okay, Canada is located in North America, so I'm thinking maybe it's a U.S. territory because we share the border and everything else like that. That's why I was in it. It was a spontaneous kind of thing. We did the itinerary, and the itinerary also included the historical tour. So no, I'm not going to do research about a country for real because I'm doing a historical tour.
My biggest problem I have with that video is obviously Canadians are in the comment sections like, oh, school illegal in America, yada, yada, yada. These people aren't even American. They're Ghanaian.
Obviously, my baby here didn't know that Canada wasn't part of the U.S., and that's fine. we've been in the United States for a very long time, and coming to a whole different country was very different.
They're clearly not American. So not only are they from Ghana in America, they went to school here, but then they went to Canada, and now Canadians are treating them like Americans, saying that Americans are dumb and don't know anything about Canada, when Americans know Canada is a different country, and you guys speak French and English. The internet is a funny place, and it gives people space to be xenophobic against Americans, because everybody wants to hate us for no reason. But the comment sections on that video were crazy, rightfully so, because the video itself is crazy. Because what do you mean you don't know Canada is an international destination from America, and that they speak French, and you thought Canada was an American territory? It's crazy.
USA and America are not the same thing, correct? And Canada...
North America. Canada is part of North America. This is North America. And that's the United States of America. USA. You asked if the USA and America is both the same thing? Technically, yes. Right? Technically, yes. Because the full name of the country is the United States of America. Because they're smack dab in the middle of the continent of North America. That's all North America right here. This is all North America. All this bit here. And even Greenland is actually considered technically part of North America, because it's on the same tectonic plate or something like that, but culturally they're more European. Anyway, that's a whole different thing. But coming down here, you got Canada, United States of America, Mexico, and then you got 23 other odd countries down here that are also part of North America. Now, this region is commonly referred to as Central America, so some people get that confused, like they're a different continent, but no. They're not on a different continent. That's all one continent, right through here. And then you got South America here. So you got North America, you got South America, and then you got Europe, Asia, Australia, Africa, and Antarctica. So 7 continents. But United States of America is smack dab in the middle of the continent of North America. So when you're referring to them as Americans, is because technically that's the name of their country. Like you got Canadians and Mexicans and Hondurans and everything like that. You got to have uns, right? You can't call them United Statians, right? Or USUns. So, they took over Americans. Yeah. And I'm not sure how many Americans you've ever met, but they kind of got a bit of an ego, right? Heads are a little bit big, right? It's not their fault. It's kind of beaten into them from birth that they're the best. And as their neighbors to the north, we just let them have it, right? If it makes them feel good, just let them have it. So that's why they're called Americans, because United States of America. Yeah. Anyway, I'll be done, yeah.
The fact that Americans don't understand why Canadians are taking this seriously is the reason we are so mad at you. Your president is talking about redrawing borders. He's talking about taking over our country, and it's not a joke. It's not some ha-ha, Trump is being crazy. He has said it so many times. He wants our country. That is why we're mad. And all of you, including your media, playing this off like it's some kind of joke is infuriating. If someone was doing this to your country, do you think you'd just be sitting by like, oh yeah, that's cool? Like, no. The fact that at this point you still don't seem to understand just shows your lack of empathy for other people. You can't look past yourselves, and your individualistic take on the world just needs to bow down to America.
No, we're not. We're not identical. There is a huge cultural difference between Canada and the US. Like, just because we speak the same language, we eat all the same foods, we consume all the same media, and we just generally have the exact same way of life as the United States, we are not the same culture, not by a long shot.
Americans will no longer be able to freely cross into Canada. The Canadian government just announced that certain unmanned remote checkpoints on the Canadian border that allows Americans free access into the country are going to be discontinued following the ongoing escalations of tensions between Canada and America. In case you haven't heard, Donald Trump is the president, like the guy from Home Alone 2. And basically, he's made it part of his mission to antagonize pretty much every ally the United States has ever had. He tried to get another fascist elected in Canada, but unfortunately for him, he lost to Mark Carney, who is also a businessman similar to Trump, but he actually has some sense in his brain. And Canada has taken on a new stance where it's like, we're not going to back down to America. And if they want to treat us badly and try to ruin our trade, then we're not going to allow people people to come into our country. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't go to Canada now if you're American, but a lot of people don't know that there's parts of America that are basically Canada. Like the northern part, like the northeastern part, like say, you know, parts of New York or like Minnesota. There's parts of the country where the most convenient way to get there in America is to go through Canada. So because our countries have historically been so close, there are just like unmanned checkpoints where you can just drive through Canada and then, you know, get back to America if you want to. But not anymore. And now pretty much every single checkpoint is going to be like a border crossing, which ultimately means that people will make less money because it's inconvenient. People will go to jail, I'm assuming, because they want to break the rules. And just overall, two countries that have loved each other for literally like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, just don't anymore. Canadians hate us.
This is America. Now, technically, you can call it the Americas, but it's America. This country is the United States of America. The reason people mistakenly call the USA America in and of itself is because the USA doesn't have a unique name, because it's just the United States inside of the continents North and South America. And the USA was the first country to gain its independence from a European power, so they just gave it the placeholder, the United States inside of America. But they never got around to making a name. So I think that we should make a unique name for ourselves so it's less confusing, because anyone from any part of this entire map is an American. Brazilians are Americans. Mexicans are American. Canadians are American. Bolivians are American. Argentinians are American. All these people are at least geographically American just because they live here. These people right here are living in Mexico, and they're racially American. Kind of how these people are racially European from this place, you know? And these people, you could technically call them racially African, and they're from this continent, Africa. Now, it's important to know that race and continents are not perfect scientific things. They're more like cultural opinions based off of physical phenomena. So take this not too rigidly. But at the end of the day, this is America.
America is not Canada. And Canada never, ever will be part of America in any way, shape, or form. Look, we didn't ask for this fight. We didn't ask for this fight. But Canadians are always ready when someone else drops the gloves. So the Americans, they should make no mistake, in trade as in hockey, Canada will win.
Respectful. Until next time, peace, my brothers and sisters. Yeah, welcome back again to my channel, and if you're watching me for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel, share my video, and don't forget to like my video. So for years, some people in the Maga movement seem to believe that Canada couldn't really stand for itself. Like, it couldn't stand without America. But now, Canada is sending a very different message. We're going to be just fine if you leave us alone. So, Canada has its own resources, industries, global partnership, and a strong national identity. Yes, Canada and the United States are important allies, very, very important allies. But being America's neighbor doesn't mean Canada has to depend on America for everything. And that's where the surprise comes in. The more pressure Canada faces, the more Canadians seems willing to look for alternatives, strengthens their own economy, and build relationships beyond America's border. This isn't about Canada hating America. It's about realizing that cooperation is a choice. It's not necessary. It's not a necessity. And maybe that's the part that shocks the people the most. Canada doesn't need to be America's shadow. It can be America's neighbor, yes. America's partner, yes. And still stand firmly on its own. Because a strong Canada isn't a... Because, let me say this. A strong Canada isn't a threat to America. It simply proves that Canada knows its own worth. So it's a choice. You don't have to force them. And they have proved to you that Canada can stand on itself without America. So folks, let me know what you think in the comment sections. Drop your thoughts, but always remember to be respectful. Until next time, peace, my brothers and sisters.